Hello, how's it going? Are we all doing well? We're having a good time? I bet your 2-week wait for this chapter has been excruciatingly painful, but don't worry because there is basically not all too much to really go off with this chapter. It's entertaining, it's fun, it's about an 8 out of 10, it's very enjoyable, but it really doesn't push us much further into that narrative because, as usual, Fujimoto likes to tiptoe around this idea, and look, I love him. I am a Fujimoto meat rider, but these 2-week breaks have been killer. It's honestly just edging you at this point with this idea of all of this catastrophe, all of this war and destruction and the death devil and Nostradamus' prophecy, yada yada. That sounds really cool, right? We're gonna take very, very small steps to actually get there. I swear he does this on purpose because it's not poorly handled. It's not badly designed. This isn't something that's like a misstep or a miscommunication or something that's just horribly portrayed. Like, it's all perfectly weaved together and coherently makes sense. I think he's genuinely just playing with us at this point. And I don't say that as like, haha, Fujimoto, typical of him. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he purposefully kind of enhances this future experience and makes it very grand and very revealing, and then drastically slows down this process beat by beat. And I would say he's definitely done this before, but I feel like it's the most obvious now. Probably because it's the most consequential, it's the most drastic, the most extreme, but also, at the same time, you're spiraling everything out of control. Like, public safety don't have a grasp on this situation at all, let's be real. For the people that are meant to protect the public, for the people that have the power to protect the public, they're the ones getting called out as well, being racially profiled for being a pseudo chainsaw man. If public safety can't be trusted, if public safety can't be relied upon, where do we go? Who do we turn to? When my car's getting absolutely obliterated or I'm getting personally fisted down by a devil, who do I contact? Where do I go? Racism. The most extreme cut. There's this very interesting social, outlook that's currently building, and the first half of this chapter really represents it. I'm here, personally just witnessed all of these random kids turn into chainsaw men, pseudo chainsaw men, and I'm panicking. I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be me next, but I'm not a part of the church, so we're all good, right? I survived this onslaught. All these people are dying around me, buildings are going up in flames, it's just ridiculous. Where do I go? Now, we managed to fight back against the pseudo chainsaw man. I'm like, okay, it's calm, it's collected, but now how do we tell the pseudo chainsaw man apart from regular people? Leave a like and subscribe. Oh, the ripcord on their chest, right? Good old Fami. She made that very important, very well clear that that's gonna be the indicator on whether or not you're a fake or not. Oh look, there's Denji. He could be a pseudo chainsaw man, a big fake, a big phony. He's the real one. Prove it. Take your shirt off, buddy. Show us your chest. Do you see kind of the racial profiling that's going on? Like, anyone that just looks like they could be pseudo chainsaw men is gonna get tested that way. And even if they aren't, because they don't want to adhere to this forceful stripping and showing their body, the public's just gonna go wild. What emphasizes this quite a bit, to make it pretty extreme, is that they even clarify that they're public safety. So a government body protecting civilians, but the public kind of re-justify themselves, saying that they don't trust public safety either because they too turned into fake chainsaw men. So there's no government aid, there's no hierarchy here. It's kind of just one group of people versus another group of people that's trying to profile another group of people. Make sense? Now, if I was sitting here, I would probably be in this position too. You don't know who to trust. You don't know who to turn to. Public safety is meant to be your guiding light. They ain't doing nothing. The dogs. The only way you could really tell if someone's fake is generally seeing if they have a ripcord. This doesn't spell well for Denji, of course. Obviously, and then it all just goes out of control. But let me just remind you of all this. They shot at Denji when he ran away, and I guess you could say, oh, that's conclusive, that proves that he is one of them, but they still didn't actually know, but still done that shot anyway. Like, they were just about to kill an innocent child. I say innocent, but genuinely they couldn't have known. But they claimed him to be guilty because he ran, even though he feared for his life, even though they're with public safety as well. Do you see how kind of crazy that is? Like, it's kind of just glossed over and very simple because all three of them are running away, but the person that stays behind, probably the worst person you want to come up against, is Quan Chi. If by whatever means I was face to face with Quan Chi, I'm just gonna die. Now, very important, very crucial, listen up. You may as well just beat yourself up at this point because there is no chance in hell that you just watch this woman jump off like a skyscraper type building, massive building, break her legs, form them back together, and then run over towards you, and you think you have a chance? Yeah, good luck. Once you come to your senses doesn't realize that what you're doing is actually delusional, you might actually notice a bit of a problem. Quan Chi stays behind. So Denji, Naruto, what's that girl's name again? I have genuinely forgotten this woman's name, and I don't know what to type in to find it. I'm a big Chainsaw Man fan, I am. She looks worried, okay? She looks genuinely compassionate towards Quan Chi. And it's kind of confusing to me because, like, we found out a lot about her character and we're meant to have, like, this pretty strong backstory for her and that she's more than what she actually seems and being, like, a public safety devil and, like, a protector for Denji, yada yada, etc., etc. We all clowned on her. We all thought she was manipulative and gonna be, like, this horrible human being, but she's kind of very human, very normal, very, inquisitive. She asks a lot about Denji. She is curious. She's willing to protect him. She's willing to do a lot of things. And you could say, well, that's a part of her job. It could very much well be, but she's showing some sort of compassion or some sort of nervousness towards Quan Chi. And maybe she likes Quan Chi. Maybe she sees her as like an elderly figure that's respectable. I don't know. Like, it's just a weird face to make while she's running away. Imagine this. You're a guy. I know, shocker, horror. You have the ability to control an octopus. Pretty strong octopus too, like a big fatty tentacle looking thing, right? You have a sword, you're dressed up like Prime Kishibe when he was youngest, and you have to fight the embodiment of war. How do you process that? Is this just another day for you, or is it just like, it's a pretty big deal? Because the way Yoshida approaches this whole situation is just like it's another day, but I don't think he's in the right mindset currently. I don't really know how to put it or phrase it in a way that doesn't feel like it's disrespectful to his character. He's very passive. He kind of looks shocked that he actually cut off Yoru's arm. Maybe he thought war would take over and deflect it, or, you know, grow it back, or just not let it happen to begin with. And I believe just based on his facial expressions, because Asa is the one to tank the actual arm cutting, he looks genuinely surprised. Obviously, swinging a sword around, probably going to hurt some people, but I believe, and I very strongly so, that he assumed that war would take over very quickly, just by threatening Asa's life. If this is the case, I think it's pretty prominent to see that Asa and war are very much in tune now. The fact that Asa can tank this much damage, and kind of respectfully so too, like she doesn't really cry about it or just linger on this like fleeting emotion that she's going to die or perish by a very powerful person. She's very much engaged and energized and ready to go to war. No pun intended. She's ready to fight. And I think this time of her being in control and in the spotlight and being this powerful representation of the Chainsaw Man Church, even though it goes against what she was actually wanting to do, has really escalated her abilities further. I like this. This is really interesting to me. This turns Yoshida's job more so into a capture rather than a defeat. I think he went in with the intention of just not expecting how quick or rapid Asa would actually evolve over time. This is the same person that has gone toe-to-toe with Quan Chi, so I think he's playing it easy. I think he's playing it simple. I think he's trying to do something else entirely, but then you get these beautiful panels of war, and she is living it up. She's thriving, she's happy. They turn the whole room into a weapon, which should be pretty powerful because that would be Asa's kind of comfort space, her zone to disconnect from everything. So it has a lot of strong feelings in the sense of being comfort, being home, being safety, but also kind of containing a lot of emotional bottling. Like she expresses all of her emotions, her vulnerability in here. So I don't think he's worried in the sense that he's going to lose, but more so he can't fight her seriously because he's not trying to kill her. He's gone. Now I truly do wonder how strong war has become because she severely underestimates her own power. I don't know how Yoshida is going to recontrol this situation. How does he come back within the future, or what does he put into motion to try and obtain her, detain her, whatever. I'm watching fake Chainsaw Man. I just seen a building get sliced in half and turned into a weapon with an octopus in the middle. Then a chick comes out that has one arm and is wielding a massive sword. What am I meant to take of all of this? Do I just give up at this point? Do I just run away? And this is just the tip of the iceberg. The calm before the storm. This isn't the age of devils. This isn't death itself. This isn't Nostradamus' prophecy. I see these two fighting, War and Denji, or at least, bare minimum, coming in contact with one another. Denji's running away right now. War's out on the street. This is a prime time for them to cross paths. And the person that would naturally probably take that fight, maybe Naruto, which is kind of more so just like a random guess, I doubt. But the girl, the one that I can't remember the name for some reason, she might be the one to actually fight for Chainsaw Man. And I wouldn't be surprised if she gets obliterated, if she gets killed, and that drives a little bit more anger, a little bit more weirdness into Denji when it comes to viewing War and Asa. Do you see what I mean? This is just a complete hypothetical, but it sounds kind of plausible, right? That is just the power of Fujimoto, the power of Chainsaw Man. You can come up with the craziest, weirdest, wackiest, or simplest idea that's pretty straightforward, and it sounds all pretty plausible. There's a lot going on. We're in for a good time. We're all excited for it. New revolutionary thing that's never been done before. Are you ready? I give this chapter 8 out of 10, maybe even 8.5, but I don't want to split numbers like that. Simple and easy chapter. Artistry's really good. A lot of questions being asked, like a lot more than usual, and we're progressing ever so slowly in a really nice direction. What more could you want?